Today's topic can transform your energy, your life, your relationships, and so much more. Let's talk the power of saying no as a woman.
Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you win some.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Amber. I am a certified personal development coach, and I am basically your go-to guide for all things self-confidence and personal development. So if those things interest you, definitely subscribe to the channel. So now let's get straight into the topic. We're going to talk boundaries, self-worth, and also reclaiming your peace. I definitely feel like we have all been guilty of saying yes to things that honestly we did not want to do. If it makes you exhausted, if you leave feeling resentful, or if it's something that just does not align to you, why did you say yes in the first place? Well, because that's kind of how we've been conditioned. We're so used to trying to please others, make everyone else happy, and be considerate that sometimes we forget to be considerate of ourselves and what our personal needs are. Especially if you don't want to be labeled as difficult or aggressive. Sometimes we tend to be really agreeable. We try to keep the peace, especially as women. We feel like we have to do so much for everyone else and make everyone else happy instead of focusing on what we really need. But guess what? Saying no is not rude. It's actually a necessity. It is an important piece of making sure that you can protect your peace. And when you're protecting your peace, that allows you to be at peace with yourself, be very grounded, be very clear with your thoughts and your alignment. And that helps you be able to focus more so on things that you really do value and that are going to bring more value and change and positive transformation into your life. So let's talk about this idea of being nice. That is something that we have been conditioned to do, being a nice girl or being a good girl. Those things kind of wired our brain to think that to be nice or to be good, we have to let go of what we want in order to make other people happy, but that's not the case at all. You can still be a wonderful, graceful, tactful woman without having to give in to everyone else's demands. Remember, being nice comes at a cost, whether that's your mental health or the time that you have in your day, or your self-worth overall. If you're so focused on making everyone else happy, you are going to neglect yourself along the way. So you have to get to the point where you're saying no instead of yes. That doesn't mean that you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to accept any invitations. You're never going to involve yourself in certain things. But if it's something that's adding to your plate, that's going to make you feel burned out, exhausted, or overwhelmed, then you have to say no. If you get into this habit of people pleasing and constantly trying to be available for everyone else, you are going to experience emotional fatigue. You're going to experience overwhelm, exhaustion, and a lot of really negative side effects that come along with it. So here is the truth. This is something that I want you to take away from this video. Write it down, put it in your notes app. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can be generous and still protect your peace. And overall, saying no is truly an act of self-love. Now that we've talked about the idea of adopting the fact that it's okay to say no and believing that to be true in your life, let's talk about what starts to happen once you actually start saying no and how your life and your being overall starts to transform. When you start saying no to things that are just occupying your brain or your mind or your time, you are creating space and opportunity for more beautiful things to come into your life. You're allowing space for your dreams, for you to take time to rest, for your mind to be at peace, and for you to actually do things that truly matter to you. You really have to assess where your values lie. What's important to other people may not be as important to you, and that is completely okay. So once you get to the point of understanding the power of no, acknowledging that no is a complete sentence and no other explanation is needed, and allowing yourself to say no when you're not comfortable with something or you simply don't want to do it, you are going to see positive change. Saying no protects your energy. Saying no teaches others how to treat you. Saying no builds your self-confidence. And saying no gives you an opportunity to say yes to things that truly fulfill you and that you feel much more aligned with. Now, you may be asking, well, what happens to the people in my life? I don't want them to feel like I don't care about them or that I'm being selfish or I'm neglecting the relationship that we have. You have to remember that the people in your life are supposed to be people who love you, who support you, and who want what's best for you. So if this person or these people truly respect you, they're going to understand that you have to put some boundaries in place. You have to make a change and you have to implement patterns in your life that are going to serve you and benefit you in the long term. always being the one who's doing the most and showing up for everyone else when that's not being reciprocated is not sustainable. You cannot continue to give, to push, and not take time for yourself, not take time to think about what you truly value or what really aligns with what you want in life, what your goals are, because then you are going to start resenting those people, and you are going to wake up one day and realize that you've been so focused on everyone else, making everyone else happy, taking care of everyone else's needs, that you have not taken care of yourself. So remember, people who love you, who genuinely love you and care about you, will understand if you have to put these boundaries in place. So now let's get into the how. I know you're like, okay, I understand the importance of it. I know it's really good for me mentally, physically, emotionally. And I know that people are supposed to still care about me and appreciate the fact that I put these boundaries in place. But how do I actually do it? How do I actually start saying no and standing in my power? Let's talk about it. I completely understand that saying no can feel uncomfortable, especially if it's something that you are not really used to or you haven't done on a regular basis, or it's just not been a part of who you are in the past. Honestly, I started with just saying no at the mall. You know, you're in the mall, they have all those kiosks, people are offering makeup, shampoo, hair tools, all those things. If you look at them and smile, they will say, oh, here, put this on. Or basically they'll just put stuff on you or start flat ironing your hair. You have to say no. And I feel like that was a really good way for me to practice being able to say no with someone who I did not know personally. But once I got into the habit of saying like, I don't want that eye cream and that's okay, I was able to implement that same principle and idea into my personal life and my personal relationships with things that matter a lot more to me. So as you're building your toolkit, add this to the list of things that you're taking notes on. You want to have certain phrases that you can keep in mind that will help you say no, and you can immediately go to those when you're in a difficult spot, you're not sure what to do, but it's really not something you want to be doing. So the first one is, thank you so much for thinking of me, but I'm going to pass. The next option is, that does not align with my priorities right now. The third, and my favorite that I love to use at work, I don't have the capacity to commit to that at this moment. And lastly, even though no is a complete sentence, you could always say no, but thank you so much for understanding. Either way, you're still saying no, you're still standing in your power, you're still staying true to yourself, but there's a bunch of different ways that you can say it if you want to be graceful or more tactful or not hurt someone's feeling in the process. But at the same time, you're still preserving your own feelings and making sure that you're not committing to things that you just really don't have the time for or you just don't want to do in general. So start small, make sure you're practicing, use a low stakes situation like I mentioned, like saying no to someone in the mall or saying no to an invite when you have too many things going on one weekend and you're like, I need to rest, I need time for myself. You don't have to say no to everything, but could you say no to one thing and just let them know, thank you so much for thinking of me. Thank you so much for inviting me. I won't be able to make it, but I wish you well. I hope you have an amazing time. It doesn't have to be long or drawn out or this really big thing that's like making you nervous or giving you anxiety. You just have to be true to yourself and understand that it is okay to say no. And the people who should be in your life, who love you and appreciate you, will understand that. I want to share a quick story about how I realized that I had to start saying no a lot more often in my life. And this really was related to my career, especially at work. If I'm like, oh, I want to get promoted, I want to stand out, I want to support the team, I would say yes to all this additional work that I was not getting any additional money for. And eventually people got this idea that me being dependable, flexible, adaptable meant that they could come to me all the time for anything and I would just show up for them and miraculously make things happen or get these projects to deadline. While yes, it's important to be a dedicated and hard worker, at the same time, if I'm dedicated to that company, I also need to make sure that I'm dedicated to myself. So eventually I got exhausted, I got burnt out, and I definitely started resenting my job. I started resenting my company, my team, because I'm like, I'm literally doing everything and I don't feel like I'm getting anything back. So I learned to say no, and that has carried me so far in my career moving forward because now I know how to interact at work. I know how to make sure that I am still pouring into the workplace, but at the same time, prioritizing myself and my needs while being a professional. And I feel like that really helped me to develop into a newer version of me as a career woman. And it helped me learn how to showcase that I value my time and my energy. And there's certain things that I just will not do. I actually had a conversation this week for my business that I have, and the person that I was interacting with, I contract with their company, and I was letting them know that I was going to be moving on, switching to a different company because it aligned better with me for my values, my needs, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, great. We would love for you to give us feedback about X, Y, and Z. And I said, I would love to share my feedback with you about X, Y, and Z. Here's my information for my consultancy. If you would like to set up a meeting, we can do so, and here's my price list. Because I'm not about to give you all my gems and my suggestions for free, and then you take it and run with it, and I'm not even affiliated with this company anymore. Well, of course, there's always the idea of like, oh, I want to be nice, I want to be helpful. At the same time, like, I am moving on, I'm moving up, I'm moving forward. And so I need to be able to fully move on from this. If you want my support, there's a fee, honey. Go ahead and pay it. Here's how you can access me. And before, I would have never done that. I would have given like a full exit interview, explaining everything, going into detail. I would have written it down and sent it to them to refer back to. But I'm not doing that anymore. I value myself, I value my time, and I value my peace. And if anything is interfering with that, I want no parts of it. So ladies, just remember that your time and your energy and what you give to others or what you choose to give to others is sacred. Saying no is not a rejection, but sometimes your presence just can't be something that everyone gets to enjoy at every moment that they want to. So lean toward peace, lean toward your purpose, and lean toward your power. I promise you it will make a huge impact on how you are feeling and how you are connecting with yourself and what truly matters in life. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If it resonated with you at all, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below something that you found helpful from the video or something that you want to work on to actually start protecting your peace. I would love to chit chat with you all down in the comment section. Again, thank you all so much for being here. If you are new, hello, you made it this far. You may as well go ahead and subscribe. And I will see all of you in the next video. Bye.